Okay, this is part 4 of Blood on the Hands of people who power is invested in that they do not want to do it the right way. And I just shared in part 3 about a young man that I had warned and that he had come into our life at during the time I was in college, sometime in '84, and I had a very profound prayer life. And I say I had, meaning for a young man that was 21. I was 21 at the time. I was praying like 3 times a day and fasting twice a week. And when I say praying 3 times a day, I'm not meaning mechanically, like I'm going to pray at 2, at 3, at 4, or 10 at night. No, it was the urge. It was a praying that came on me, just like you had the urge to eat or urge to uh, go out and exercise. It's an urge, a yearning, a burden in my spirit that came on me to pray and even sometimes to intercede. So I understand that. You remember I said I have what you call Pentecostal type charismatic background. So I've seen a lot of guys in all walks of life. I've been in the military. I've seen guys back in the bush. We back here painted faces. I've seen brothers in all walks of life, in mental health, just deranged people. I've seen lots of things in my life. So when this guy came into my life, I gave, there was a warning. I saw that he's going to die. I saw it. In my spirit, I saw it. And then in my vision, the dream I had, I saw him. But I didn't have enough experience at the time to say, Lord showed me something, I didn't want to blow the guy out of water. He's a big guy, big 230-pound, crazy acting man. And I said, I didn't want to, let me say this to you brothers out here. I'm talking to you brothers this time, you black brothers, you brothers that look like me, that come from North America, same type of environment. Man, you can talk about all you want that there ain't no God, and you can talk about all you want about all of it's made up and that Christianity's a cut and paste religion. I'm not speaking of just Christianity. I'm talking about a relationship with the Creator. I'm talking about a relationship with God. And I'm talking about where he reveals himself. He opens your eyes and reveals himself to you. So I got a master's in psychology. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I know about mental health and all that. So if you think I'm, delusional, then whatever. You go and think what you want to think. But I have a duty that when these things are given to me, this is the part I have the hardest time with. When this stuff is given to me and I can see plainly what's going on in somebody's life. He's not the only one I saw something going to happen in his life. There's a couple other white guys and brothers, but I won't go into that because I don't want to scare you. I don't want to put myself on no pedestal. I'm not anything but a brother, just like you brothers. You probably saying, "Nah, you ain't," but I'm just like you brothers, man. I like to practice exercising. I like tennis. I used to like jogging until I had knee surgery. I enjoy, eating and camping and all these things, nature. I'm not just like you, brothers. But when I was shown something, there was a responsibility that came with it. That's the part that's the hardest. Is that when you get something and you have to share it with somebody, they might try to beat the brakes off of you because they didn't like the message you gave them. I'm not getting any joy out of this, brothers. I'm not getting any peace but if I don't do it, I see what this guy is capable of, and I'm really afraid of him, more afraid of him than I am of what might happen out here. So I'm just saying, I'm just talking, bro. If you can relate. If you can't, don't worry about it. But I could honestly, when I say this, I say it out of the spirit of love, but at the same time, I don't want that responsibility. Like if a man wants to go to hell, I'm like, letting go. If a man wants to not believe, let him not believe. I don't care. If a man wants to be a racist and bust hell wide, go on. I want it. I have that side in me that a lot of times I wanted that guy to get in trouble. So the temptation I have a lot of times is to withhold information and not tell you, and that's wrong. That's what some cops do. They know that somebody's trying to do some wickedness or trying to kill somebody, but they don't like the person who's getting ready to get killed. So they just sit back, sort of like how they did Malcolm X. They sit back and let it happen. Then they just come in and mop up. See, you're gonna get judgment for that. You can't do that. You got to be right by the law, even if you don't like Malcolm. You got to protect him because that's what the law says do. But if you're one of those kind of wicked cops that say, "Oh man, let him go on and get shot. Let the Negroes kill each other," you're one of those people that have blood on your hands because it was in your power to warn and to do something about it, and you didn't do it. That's the group I'm talking about on these four sessions here in this one particular topic about blood on your hands. Okay, so I would rather, even though I love people and I want to see them do right, I would love to warn them. But if I know a person ain't going to receive it and the person's going to persecute, try to, fight me, put their dukes up, try to threaten me, try to take a gun because of what I said, I would just ask the Lord, I'd say, why don't you just let the dude go on to hell? I mean, he ain't doing nothing for anybody anyway. He's a racist or he's this way. Let him go on to hell. But see, you can't do that because, like I read in the 32nd chapter, I believe that's what I did, of Ezekiel, is either 33rd or 32nd, when I talked about the blood will be required of your hands when a wicked man perished and you didn't warn him. That's the way it rolls. And so you have an obligation to your brother, white, black, yellow, green. You have an obligation to show love to them and to be genuine to them and to warn them from the error of their way. And if they choose not to listen, then it's not on you, it's on them. So that's why you see a lot of Christian people out here trying to be mechanical about it instead of really spiritual and trying to force stuff on people. And that's not the spirit of the Lord either. So you have to really, witnessing is spiritual. So when you talk to non-believers, usually a door is open for you to do that, an opportunity, but you can't just kick doors in on people. You can't just jump on them and stuff. But at the same time, when you do have a real rough message, they may not receive it anyway. But I've seen some guys, I saw one guy go to his death, and I felt that he's in trouble, and he went on to his death. A day or two later. And so some of those kind of responsibilities are invested in certain kinds of people of the faith. Certain children of the faith get those kind of responsibilities, and they have to be accountable to God of why they didn't. There was one young lady that I was given a word to give to her, and I hate to say it, but I didn't do it. I wrestled with myself, and it's hard for me to deal with it even to this day, and it's been over 20 something years, 30 years. And that girl went into some situation that was real bad for her, but I saw it in my spirit, but I didn't trust enough. I said, what if she says I'm crazy? If I tell her, I was going to tell her why she moved out from the house with her parents, that she wanted just to know what sex was about. She just wanted to be away and have independence so that she could do the dirt that she wanted to do, but she was going to get hurt. And that she was going to, and I had this stuff come up in my spirit, and I saw her in this laundromat. And she's a pretty young lady, but I didn't do it. And my spirit just wrestled with me, and that girl went out. And when I heard through a maintenance man, when he ran to me and told me what happened to her, it was exactly what I had in my spirit to tell her. And that's when I was learning. You have a responsibility to warn and to tell people the error of their way. So I ain't gonna say no more than that about those experiences because I might have that, that blood be on my hands because I didn't warn that girl. So when I come on these sessions with, thank God for America does allow you to have some avenues like this to reach people, but I try to stay low and mind my business, but sometimes I'm asked to go out and warn. And so my warning today is to the leaders of the United States or to the government and the people that are throwing these young boys' lives away because you want to sway in the way of the majority racist groups of people that you don't want to upset and have a race war because you sway in favor of a young black boy or something like that, and you keep throwing these kids under the bus. That blood is on your hands. You took that position and you wanted to be a judge or you wanted to be swear an oath and you do wrong, God knows those positions that you have, and you will be judged and you will be held accountable for it. You're not going to get away with it. I'm not coming at you as a psychologist or a master's level psychologist. I'm not coming at you as a therapist today. I'm not coming to you as a solar and a renewable energy expert, which I have that background. I'm coming at you as a brother and as a child of the faith, saying that you have to persist in your ways and quit going down the road that you're going down to please a bunch of bigots that you grew up with, that grew up in your family, that helped you go to college. And you better start swaying on the way of truth and going by what that book and the way and the scales of justice tell you that you need to do. One day, when the death angel comes to the foot of your bed and requires your soul that day, you will not be able to erase or rectify the situation that you created in a person's life. And you sent them to prison for 40 years or something they did not do. And you knew you had evidence that proved it, but you wanted to put them in there because of your white supremacist ways and because of your ways of wickedness of being a racist and a redneck. And I said, or you some kind of black individual living in the continent of Africa, oppressing your own people and snatching food from them and giving it to your tribe and upsetting and oppressing the other tribes because they're not a member of your particular clan. You will bust hell and you will be in the fires of hell immediately following death. And if it doesn't reap what you do not reap what you sow on this earth, you're going to get it in the next life. You better clean your act up. You better do people right because they're members of the human race, not because they're members of your clan and your tribe, not because they're members of your particular nation, but because they're individuals that's a child of God and a member of the human race. That's what you need to do. If you're running over here talking about God is just going to bless this person because they're not a member, because they're a member of the right group, and he's going to curse these people because they're a member of the wrong group. You can go with that all you want. You can use scripture to back that up. But I understood that in the scriptures that I have learned that whosoever will come and want to be a partaker of the divine life that God has blessed him to do, he can come. Whosoever will, don't matter who he is, what he looks like, what tribe or what clan. He's going to forsake his own people to come to Christ or to come to God. Let him come. So anyway, my message is going to conclude here. The message is don't have blood on your hands. You want to be blameless. You want to be above reproach. You want to do what's right in the power that's vested in you. The people that come under your command are under your jurisdiction. You want to do right because that's the right thing to do. It's because it's the godly thing to do, not because you liked them or because you cared about what they did or didn't like what they did. It's about weighing things and being balanced about it and giving them the scales of justice as it should be, not because you hate them or because of their race. It's because that's the way it's supposed to be. Only few men and few women can step to that occasion. Most of you will cave in and you will become weak because you're not the man that God has appointed you to be or the woman that you're supposed to be. But you're the devil's child. And those people, this message is for you. Peace and Hotep.